with a TvZ gonna be joining this series right in the middle. Azure versus Nuks. Azure will be up 1-0. On Romanticide, LE. LE, of course, standing for Love Entity. Love Entity. That's when you have to find the entity of your love, and then there's probably like a Green Lantern about that. In the bottom right corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right hand corner map, we have the purple Terran player coming out from the land of Brisbane. One of them Brisbane boys, potentially going to be facing another one if he wins this map. He is representing Legacy Esports. We have Azure.
And hi. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the Filipino Zerg player currently representing Team GDA. It is Nuks.
Always excited when you see a player from Team Gadot.
Gadot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that like a French team have like such a big influence in Southeast Asia.
They are Mr. Worldwide. Well, I mean, the French had a lot of influence in Southeast Asia. They are Mr. Worldwide team. I do believe they also have a Latin player. They have a European player. One of them may or may not be from Morocco. I'm going based off entirely from memory. I should look this up.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to say that a lot of the players that are on the team are influenced by who we cast, but it just happens to be so. For whatever reason, Latin America and Southeast Asia, a lot of the players, they got picked up by Team GDA, and it's really cool. It's really cool that they're supporting up and comers.
Legend K was scouting from our channel. That's how it was done. I'm on to you, Legend K, but please continue to do so. There are a lot of teamless players who we would like to get picked up.
Looking at you, Mia Micah.
Mike is not going to accept a team offer for quite some time.
It's true. You're not wrong. It's sad. God damn.
It really is. You know what it is about him? At first it was like, oh, I'm not good enough to be on a team. And I was like, you're the top player. And he's like, no.
It's like, yeah, but only in NA.
The last time I beat Maru was 2 years ago. A year ago. It's like... And the Reaper goes in, the Reaper gets chased away. Not going to be able to scout that Roach Warren, which could be potentially deadly for Azure. I'm just going to be looking at what he's building. 2 Hellions coming out. He's got a reactor on that factory. Best case scenario, he just uses that to buy as much time as possible before he gets like maybe a Banshee or a tank out.
Definitely. Yeah, so a lot is happening right now. So we do have this Roach one, and it did go unscouted. And something important that is a tell is that Nuks, he did expand towards his opponent. This is very unorthodox, especially on this map. Normally you expand over to the triangular third, but instead, because it's aggressive, I feel like with the creep, with the reinforcing larva, it is kind of a tell that we do have a big Roach push coming out from Nuks. And Azure, what does he have really to defend? It's gonna be the Liberator.
Yeah, it is looking very scary. Azure going for the build that I like to go for, but yeah, maybe not the best in this scenario. The Liberator can try to like soften up a couple of roaches here and there, but yeah, they're nowhere near as reliable as a Banshee in terms of the defense.
Yeah, immediately Azure is trying to wall off 2 bunkers in production, but I don't know if they're going to be done in time for these roaches.
Well, he's got to make use of these Hellions, so right? He's got to buy himself as much time as he can in order to get these bunkers up, and he's doing a decent job of it. Just really has to make sure that these bunkers go up and that he's able to actually fill them in. I do believe he's lost a couple of Marines, but he should be able to get a couple more in as well. This Liberator actually doing a really good job of zoning.
Oh my god, you say that, but they just go all the way around the Liberation Circle. 5 SCVs have gone down so far, and no mining whatsoever at the natural.
There is not, but the tank is out, and that should just about be the end of this Roach rush.
Oh god, not if they're just get on top of the tank.
They're getting on top of the tank, but they're within bunker range. And there we go, a pretty big amount of SCVs go down, all things considered. But the important thing is he has survived. Terran player, he's on...
Oh god, and Nuks, like, he was droning up behind this. There's nothing to defend, and I love this. As Azure was defending, he sent his Hellions across the map because he knew they were useless against the Roaches, and now 13 plus drones are going to be going down.
More than equalized, and just like that, Azure is suddenly back on top in this game. He's a Terran player with 2 orbital commands. He's got the mules, he's got the SCV production, and now they're both even in terms of the worker count. Do not piss off Azure. He'll be back for you with a vengeance.
Exactly. Like, it was so smart that he was able to counterattack with his Hellions at the same time, and like, it caught Nuks off guard. He wasn't expecting it. He didn't have enough at home, and because of that, now Azure, like, he's in a pretty good position.
Oh, a fantastic position, I would say. He's got his tanks up. He's just building up his production more and more, getting his Evo chamber, so engineering base, the Terran Evo chamber, and just getting those upgrades up, really going to be working into his 1-1 timing push.
Yeah, definitely. And again, like, he is working on his RCC as well, which will eventually finish up. And I mean, Nuks, he just kind of has to try and, you know, catch back up, and things like this Liberator aren't helping.
No, they certainly are not. Just completely preventing the mining from this base, and even going to be losing a couple of drones because of that.
Yeah, definitely. 4 drones go down. The Liberator is still alive. It should eventually go down to this Queen, but yeah, and more lost mining time, and it's actually avoiding the Queen. Oh my god. Oh.
It's still alive. And yeah, I was gonna say, it can sort of be right on the edge, that liberation zone, and maybe try to pick out the Queen. Here's exactly what he's doing. And with that, the Liberator escapes.
Yeah. Wow, the Liberator's, yeah, it's able to escape. We'll see if it comes back in or if it comes back home to get repaired, to be used with the main army. There's a lot of options there available to Azure. Meanwhile, Nuks, he has caught up a little bit when it comes to the worker count. I feel like he's gonna need a 4th pretty soon, and yeah, he's opting to transition into this more Lingbane style.
Yeah, but you can't really blame him for. I do believe that Lingbane has gotten a lot more popular. Mutiling Bane is obviously what you'd sort of expect, but just straight up Lingbane into Hive is, well, Dark has been exporting that style, if you will.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see, because I haven't casted Nuks in a TvZ or ZVT in quite some time. I don't really know if he's one to skip anti-air and go straight into Hive off of Lingbane, if he's one to go Lingbane Hydra, which has become more popular in Europe, as you go Lingbane Hydra Lurker, or the Muta style, which is a little bit more standard, more Korean, if you will. Yeah, I mean, so far it's just Lingbane.
Indeed it is, and to be granted, Lingbane is a little favored depending on the numbers. It's a little bit favored against Marine Tank, but yeah, it does come down to numbers quite a bit. Hot pickup from Azure, and just about all of the Banelings do go down, as most of the Marines are still well alive. Azure lost a little bit of momentum there, but he still has a very healthy army that's looking to continue to push. A lot of Banelings is starting to come out, though.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, because he traded a lot of Banelings for 2 tanks. I don't know if that was worth it. To be fair, tanks are quite valuable. Maybe it was more of an equal trade, but as you pointed out, Azure, he saved the majority of his Marines.
Indeed, he did. Now, granted, losing those tanks were still pretty huge. It does mean that you know, Azure will still have a little bit of time before he's able to really establish a foothold.
Oh, he's going for the surround.
And it's starting to come out. He is going for the surround. I'm not sure if Azure will quite be able to split. Those Banelings are so exposed, and they do get picked off by the tanks. There are no more Lings here to buffer for them. And again, you know, Azure, his tank count has been somewhat reset. So he's actually going to take this pretty seriously. He's going to find a different position to push in from.
Yeah, I mean, like, Nuks, he just didn't have enough Lings. Like, he had a lot of Banelings, but again, you don't want to, like, trade inefficiently and run Banelings into even more tanks at that point. Otherwise, the Marines, they'll just end the game. They'll just push on forward. There's nothing to deter them. So we do see Azure going for a little bit of multi-prong. We have a drop to the north. We have a drop to the south as well. And Nuks, he is working on that Spire.
Yeah, that's definitely one way that you can take advantage of the lack of anti-air that Nuks has at the moment. Just go for drops wherever you can. Just go for the multi-prong. Heck it.
Yeah, it's
Some
definitely
damage done.
definitely, especially because there's nothing but Lings here to defend in the main base at least. There we go, a couple of Banelings do roll in. Meanwhile, Azure, he is ready to push on in with this drop to the south. And okay, to be fair, Nuks, he has done a decent job at splitting up his own Ling Bane.
Yeah, he definitely has. He has just enough, I would say, to sort of chase away the Marines from each base. But again, it is just a bare minimum. He really has to get some miracle connections here with the Banelings. Because otherwise, Azure, he's making a pain train that ain't gonna stop.
Exactly, as all this is happening, as this harass is happening, oh my god, all the Baneleys connect here to the south. That drop gets cleaned up, and with that, it's going to be so much easier for Nuks to hold against all these drops. But again, it's just 2 drops. Like Azure, he's macroing up. We've got so many more tanks on the way, 2-2 on the way as well.
That we do. We're about to get into round 2, if you will. Pretty dang soon, as Azure is going to be looking to push out.
Oof, yeah, definitely. We have 4 tanks. We have that Liberator that returned home and got fully repaired. To be fair, Nuks this time, he will have a couple of mutas, which can definitely help. The muta count isn't anywhere near like large enough to really, you know, try and outmaneuver and snipe off any tanks, I don't think. Like this army is still quite terrifying from Azure. I feel like there aren't enough Banelings.
Yeah, I don't really think that the Mutalists are going to be the ones who are really going to carry this army for Nuks, but they can clean up, you know. If there are some pretty good Baneling connections, if the Lings eventually run in and maybe soften up the tanks enough, then the Mutalists are absolutely going to be looking to clean out the damage units from Azure. The Liberator does get taken out, and that does distract the Zerg army for quite a bit, all things considered.
Oh yeah, definitely, and we do see Azure, he is slowly leapfrogging forward. To be fair, as time is passing, more and more Lings are coming out here for Nuks, so he's going to be a little bit more prepared for this, but oh god, look at the pre-split. Yeah,
it's looking really good right now, but I do worry a little bit. It looks like Azure is anticipating that Nuks is going to push into him, but yeah, he really has to try to force Nuks into that position, which he does now. And again, this free split, you know, he's just waiting for Nuks to throw his army away, essentially. Really good snipe to the Banelings, and I feel like Azure has way too much.
Yeah,
Nuks is gonna have to have the best Baneling connections of his life, and even then, look at the splits once again.
Exactly, it's just not enough. There are too many Marines.
Good game, well played is called. Azure gonna be going up to face Oreo for who's gonna be going into that final qualifier.
The rematch.
It is gonna be that rematch. And old mate Krug is gonna be going off. We are gonna have the Brisbane Showdown, the Brisbane Bowl, if you will.
Exactly, as 2 of the remaining Brisbane boys are going to be facing off here in the lower bracket. They faced off once already today in the upper bracket, and Oreo took down Azure 2-1 in a close best of 3, and now he's going to have to do it again, or Azure is going to be looking for a bit of revenge here in this rematch.
Ooh. All of the narratives are flowing into my head right now. Like, the narrative of Oreo, he was denied ANZ champs last season, and he's going to be coming back in. We can't have Pez, who was, you know, struck down to the lower brackets and now forced to, once again, show why he is one of those top Protoss players from Australia. And then we have Azure, somewhat of a dark horse when you just, you know, when you look at the players from the ANZ region. He's been, in my opinion, overshadowed quite a bit by the likes of, say, Seether and definitely Probe and even Pez, but he is still a very worthy contender.
Exactly. I think something that is guaranteed that a couple of Australian fans, you know, can, you know, breathe a sigh of relief is that regardless of who qualifies, it will be an Australian player. It will
just realized that.
The very first Australian player to qualify for ANZ champs.
I just realized that. Well, Piglet is directly seeded to ANZ champs.
Other than the directly seeded players being 3, Piglet, Seether, and Probe. But yeah, we have 1 of 3, 1 of each race left. We have Pez representing Protoss, Azure for Terran, and Oreo for Zerg.
Fingers crossed.
That's great. It's like the trio, the trifecta, if you will.
Yeah, they are. Well, it would have been really good if like either Oreo or what's his name? Azure lived in Perth. Then you can have like a what's it called? A triangle.
Yeah, that would be fitting. But yeah, I mean, you know, so there is still hope for all three races for all these Australian players. Again, it would have been such a shame. I was honestly dreading it, the situation where 0 Australians qualified. But yeah, we almost got there. But there is going to be at least one. Unfortunately, they're all going to be knocking each other out. And again, when it comes to these two players, at least, it can really go either way.